Worried that your education background could hold you back from enlisting? Here's what you need to know and how to fix it if you're not there yet. Welcome to the U.S. Military Test Prep channel from Study.com. My name is Matt, and I'm a U.S. Army vet and an ASVAB test prep expert. In this video, we're breaking it all down so you know exactly what to expect and how to prepare. Let's get into it. When it comes to joining the Air Force, your educational background plays a significant role in determining your eligibility and the opportunities available to you. If you want to enlist, the Air Force typically requires a high school diploma, or what they consider to be the equivalent of one. That includes completing at least 15 college credit hours. If you have a General Education Development or GED certificate, you could still enlist in the Air Force. But just having a GED doesn't automatically mean that you'll qualify. It really depends on your full application and how you measure up overall. But it's a little more complicated than that, and we need to take a look at the ASVAB to get a clearer picture. The Armed Services Vocational Aptitude Battery, or ASVAB, is a test that the military uses to determine both your eligibility for enlistment and which jobs you can qualify for. One of the most important scores for this test is the Armed Forces Qualifying Test, or the AFQT score. This determines whether or not you can enlist at all, with each military branch setting its own minimum requirement. Let's break down the AFQT scores you'll need to qualify. In most cases, you'll need a minimum AFQT score of 31 if you have a high school diploma. If you've passed the GED exam, you'll need to aim for a score of 50. If you don't meet the usual education requirements, here's a way in which you can. You can still qualify by scoring at least a 65 on the ASVAB. Now, not everybody scores high enough to qualify for the job that they want, or sometimes to even enlist at all. Or maybe you don't meet the education requirements. That's where ASVAB waivers can come into play. Waivers might be an option for individuals who didn't quite meet the standard requirements under certain conditions. Now, you might be wondering, why does the Air Force put so much emphasis on education? Well, it's simple. A solid educational foundation ensures that soldiers possess the critical thinking, discipline, and knowledge necessary to tackle the diverse challenges that they'll face in the service. Also, certain roles within the Air Force require specialized skills and knowledge, such as technical skills or the ability to solve complex problems that you usually gain through education. By setting these standards, the Air Force ensures that its personnel are well equipped to handle their responsibilities effectively. If you don't have a high school diploma or GED, don't be discouraged. That 65 AFQT score can open the door, even without a diploma or a GED. You could also consider applying for a waiver based on education. Waivers are given on a case-by-case basis. It's important to remember that they're not all guaranteed. I recommend checking with a recruiter from the Air Force to find out the specific regulations. Now let's talk about your next steps if you're really serious about joining the Air Force. First, assess your educational credentials. Determine if you have the necessary diploma or certificate to enlist. If you don't, consider options to obtain them, like taking the GED exam. Also, if you've already taken the ASVAB, check to see that your score is high enough. Remember, if you have a high school diploma, you'll need at least a 31. With a GED, a minimum AFQT score of 50 is required. If you want to explore the option of a waiver, talk to a recruiter. If they think that you might be eligible for one, they'll be able to tell you how to apply. If your scores are close but not quite there yet, consider retaking the test. You'll need to wait at least 30 days before your first 2 retakes. After that, it's a 6-month wait if you want to try again. So use the time that you have to your advantage. Let's talk about some steps that you can take to improve your scores and better position yourself to qualify for enlistment and the jobs that you want. These tips are also useful if you haven't taken the ASVAB yet and are getting ready to prep. First, pinpoint weak areas. Look at which subtest brought your score down. Next, study smarter. Spend more time on the sections that you struggled with, especially the ones involved in computing the minimum score for the job that you're aiming for. Using good study resources can really make a big difference. Study.com's ASVAB test prep resources include full-length practice tests that are just like the real exam. You can get comfortable with the format, timing, and questions so you can walk in feeling confident and ready. We'll even use your practice test results to fine-tune your study plan as you go. Plus, our test prep courses include large question banks for extra practice on the areas where you need it most. Watch lessons to review the material that you're less confident in. If you feel like you know a topic well, do practice problems and quiz yourself. If you notice that you're missing a lot, go back and review the lesson to make sure that you really know the material. A solid prep plan can help you pass with flying colors. 92% of users pass the ASVAB after prepping with Study.com. If you're prepping for the ASVAB, consider using Study.com's ASVAB study guide and test prep resources and focus on what you need to study. Understanding and meeting the Air Force's education requirements is a pivotal step on your journey towards service. Remember, it's not just about eligibility. It's about ensuring that you're prepared for the challenges and responsibilities ahead. If this video helped you out, give it a thumbs up, drop a comment with any questions or topics that you want for us to cover, and don't forget to subscribe for more U.S. military test prep content. I'll see you in the next video. You've got this.